Hey guys, it's Greg Jones for Engine Builder. We are at the 2023 PRI Show. We're in the Penn Grade 1 DA Lubricant booth. I'm joined by Matt Stutzman, otherwise known as the Armless Archer. And between us here is a 540 cubic inch supercharged big block Chevy, and it's our Engine of the Week.
Engine Builder's Engine of the Week is sponsored by Penn Grade 1, L-Ring DOS Original, and NPW.
Matt, thanks so much for giving us a little bit of time. We got to do a prior video with you here this morning, which if folks haven't seen, they should go check it out to get to know a little bit more of your story and how you gotten to the point where you have with your drag racing. But we wanted to talk specifically with you about the big block Chevy engine and your top Sportsman car here. So if you would, tell us a little bit about, again, how this car kind of came to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So the speeds that I was trying to reach, I knew I needed some power, right? So obviously I decided to go with big block Chevy. It's kind of what I know the most of.
Yeah.
It's a bow tie block. We have Kelly crank, Oliver rods, a BDS 1071 blower. We actually only spin it at 7% overdrive, so it's only like 12 pounds of boost right now, but that gets me into the fours really easy. The thing is reliable, it's consistent.
Yeah.
Of course, Penn Grade oil, I run 50 weight,
okay,
and I can run a whole weekend on that stuff and drop it out of the bottom when I get back to shop, and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the basic setup.
Awesome. Yeah, so walk us through a little bit about what you got inside the big block here. What kind of work have you done to it, and then what kind of components are you running?
Yeah, so as far as the work on the engine itself, I had an engine that I built, and it was having some issues. So I had this one put together by a machine shop.
Okay.
But I did put the heads together, and I built everything that you see, put everything together as you see it now.
Yeah.
There's nothing crazy. It's Start Pro 1 head, so nothing too big or anything of that nature. I'm not saying it's just bolt-on stuff, but for the most part, bolt-on and hold it to the floor.
Okay. Now, do you happen to know some of the branded components in terms of maybe some of the rotating assembly parts?
Yeah, so it's a Cali crank.
Okay.
Yeah, and run Oliver rods.
Okay.
The car does run on alcohol.
Okay.
We run 12 pounds of boost on the BDS blower. The heads are Pro 1 darts, and I run Jessel belt-driven timing set. I do run carburetors, which is kind of unique to what people are like. You run the carburetors on this setup, but these are alcohol carburetors, 1050 Dominators.
Okay.
What I've learned is that they flex a little bit with. I don't have to do as much changing at the track to run consistent numbers with them, and that's one of the reasons why I like them so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I still run water in it.
Okay.
So I could drive it to Walmart if they would allow me to.
If you felt inclined.
If I felt inclined. It is connected to a Reed Super Glide or Power Glide 2-speed. So.
Now, do you want to talk a little bit about the builder that did help with some of the machine work? Do you want to mention who?
It was a friend of mine. He actually runs a Napa store, but he does a lot of blower engines, 540 cubic inches or bigger, or even a little bit less for monster trucks. Right, and he's really good at what he does.
Nice.
When he gave me this car or this engine and said, "I think you're going to be happy," I did not expect to be this happy. I mean, we literally aren't even running the car hard at all, and we are, way exceeding the speeds that we actually have to slow it down a little bit so we don't go too fast.
Yeah. Now, you were saying earlier that your goal is to reach 200 miles an hour in the eighth. So what kind of horsepower, does this engine kind of crank out to get you there?
Right now, at the numbers that we're running, we're probably around, on the tune that we got, probably about 1,500 horsepower. Okay. So it's really not too crazy. But to get to that 200 mile an hour mark, it's probably going to need a different engine.
Yeah.
Probably more around 3,000 horsepower, I'm guessing. Okay. But it is in my future. It is my plans. I'll get there.
Yeah. Very cool. Now, again, I'm sure some of the people watching, notice, again, you were born without arms, but the car itself is really not heavily modified to a point where somebody else couldn't drive the car. You've made little changes that have adapted it to where you're able to drive it. And for the folks that are curious, go check out that other video. We'll have a link to it where Matt's demonstrating getting in and out and how you drive that. And
it's
very, very cool.
You're not going to want to miss out. It's pretty cool. A lot of people actually, ask me like, must be crazy, having a car that's all modified like that. And I'm like, you want to see the car? I'm like, yeah. And then I open the door and they're like, we're confused.
Well, and you made a great point that, to resell the car at some point, when you need a chassis change or whatever the reason might be.
Yeah.
That's going to go a long way where, somebody doesn't have to undo everything you did.
Right.
Absolutely. It's still, a normal car, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, Matt, anything else about the car itself or the big block Chevy that we're kind of leaving out?
Not that I can think of. It's I'm really impressed with how consistent it runs and how good it runs. The maintenance on it's pretty minimal compared to some of the other cars.
Sure.
It makes me fly.
Yeah,
It makes me feel amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Matt, we appreciate the time. Thanks for telling us a little bit about the car and again about your story. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you watching this episode of Engine of the Week. Again, want to thank Matt for his time and telling us a little bit about the car and the engine. Want to thank everyone at Penn Grade 1. And as always, make sure you're checking out enginebuildermag.com for more great engine content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.